local level.
Good evening. Many of you were wondering where I had been when I suddenly returned to air here at CBS 44 earlier this year. And after a long road of recovery, I'm finally ready to share that journey with all of you. I'm Brian Roche, and join me as we take a look back on over a year-and-a-half journey. We'll take a look at what caused it and the people who were close by me throughout this road. My name is Brian Roche, and for years, I've been welcomed into your homes to bring you the latest stories across Southwest Georgia.
Because local matters, in Albany, Brian Roche, South Georgia Television News.
However, my life was permanently altered one July night in 2021.
We were on vacation in Hilton Head, expecting to come down that Friday, the 23rd of July. And we got an emergency call while we were out at the pool that you, Brian, needed emergency surgery and we should get to Albany as quickly as possible. We didn't really know much else, but it was a very long 6-hour ride.
What had happened seems simple enough. I had collapsed at home, but with one difference. I was unable to feel anything from the chest down. It was only after being transported to Phoebe Putney Hospital that I met neurosurgeon Dr. Hector Soriano and was told the worst news. I had suffered a spinal cord injury due to an abscess that had settled halfway down my back. I met him in person on my own for the first time since that surgery as we look back on the images of my spine that had left me on the floor of my apartment.
Well, spinal cord injury is one of the most devastating injuries that any human being can suffer, right? It fortunately is not terribly common, but when it happens, it's devastating for the patient and the family.
According to Dr. Soriano, as long as a person has a little bit of function in them following a spinal cord injury, it's ruled incomplete. That was not the case with my situation. Mine was ruled a complete spinal cord injury as I wasn't able to feel, let alone move anything below my chest.
We also use classification. It's called an ASIA classification, and it goes from A being the most severe to E being the less severe. You were ASIA A, complete spinal cord injury with a sensory level at T6.
When I finally woke up after the emergency surgery, I was greeted by my parents, with all of us being terrified at how uncertain the future now looked.
Like Dad said, we had no idea what our next steps were going to be. We kind of took one day at a time. You were then moved to the ICU, where you had wonderful doctors there, guiding us through getting you to the point that you were good.
Numerous tests were run on me in the days that followed the surgery to make sure there were no further complications. But just around a week after the surgery, we saw one of the best things we could have hoped for following that last week.
You got it.
And I talked with your parents, and I said, this is a good news. But we didn't want you to get too excited because it was very, very just flickering. So, but yeah, no, the moment I start seeing you that you start regaining some function, it was a great day for me. It's what every spine surgeon dreams of.
And while it may seem like the worst was over, I knew that my long road to recovery had only just begun. Tune in tomorrow when we continue the story of the road to recovery, only on CBS 44 News.